When did you win it, Ralph?
I won it in '96.
Where was that? In
It was in Borlänge, Sweden,
Sweden, right? Okay.
and I lost two finals
I
in
know.
'01 against Mika and '06 against Ronnie
I
Alcano.
remember very well. And who did you beat when you won it?
Tom Storm.
Okay.
It was the finals was in his hometown in Borlänge, and yeah, it was obviously a great event. Even though I still remember when I was warming up, I couldn't make a ball because for some reason the pockets were tighter there, and warming up with 3, 4 players at one table, and I think I missed more shots than I actually made in. But eventually, after a time, I got used to the smaller pockets, and I felt more and more comfortable, and yeah, ended up winning it.
And Darren, you were involved in a like ridiculous final, weren't you? It was insane. It was though, wasn't it? Tell us about it.
I mean, I think if that would have been a matchroom event, let's say, like if it had been televised live around the world, I mean, it would have been probably one of the best finals for drama. But yeah, I mean, it was still great in the Qatar, but obviously not as good as the Matchroom World Championships, but it's still a World Championship. So, but the final was crazy because I played really well. I was up 11-4, played more or less perfect, and then
what was it a race to?
A race to 13.
Okay, so
but then at 11-4, I just started like thinking about what I'm going to say to people and thinking about what I'm going to do later. Just made the mistake, really, what everyone's shouldn't do, and then I just switched off a little bit. But what I still had a nice lead, 12-6. Made a crazy mistake at 12-6. I snookered myself with like 4 balls left, just adrenaline. And then from 12-7, I didn't really get an open chance, like a really good open chance. Everything just turned, and my opponent played really well. Lee Yu-Wen, obviously, is a class player. And then all of a sudden it's 12-12, and it's like you're just thinking about the nearest bridge and stuff like that. If you lose, I mean, in the World Championship, obviously Ralph knows, and obviously like the more experienced players, or obviously Josh might be an exception, but you don't get many chances to win the World Championship. With it being 9-ball, it's a short race, alternate break. So it's very cutthroat, and you're playing all the best players in the world. So you know you're not going to get many chances. So. And at that time, I was probably playing the best pool of my life. So if I'd have lost that final, I think it would have done some damage to me, like mentally. So I was just really probably made like the greatest shot I ever made in my life at Ill Hill, making the jump shot. Not really like that tough a shot, but under the circumstances, it's like do or die. You know what I mean? So and you're not a favourite to make that shot. So that was just a massive relief, really. Just really angry, sort of angry with myself, like for like allowing myself to be in that spot. So that's why I really showed the emotion. What I showed, I just lost it. I mean, the only time you lose it like that is in the Moscone Cup. But that World Championships, I just completely lost it when I made the winning shot. I just out of body experience. I think. David was there actually, and I think David said to me straight after the final that I've just won a spot into the World Games. So that was even like just as big, really, because obviously it's a dream to play in the World Games. And luckily, I went on to win the World Games the following year. So it was. So if I would have lost that final, I probably wouldn't have got a chance to play in the World Games as well, and obviously win it. So it was like massive, really. Probably the most important rack of my life was that 2012 World 9-ball final.
Yeah. And Josh, who did you beat when you won the event?
Carlo Biado, and he won the World Championship a year before as well.
Yes.
So it was a big fun. I mean, the biggest match was actually the semifinal against Kazakis, where what was the score? 10-8, I guess. And he had the biggest. I mean, you couldn't really do much wrong there in this rack, and he was just, he had a blackout, whatever, I don't know. And he didn't manage to run out. It gave me a big cut shot on the 3-ball, and I was just like, go for it. I mean, this is maybe the last chance you will get in the match. I made it, managed to get the next rack from his break, and then Hill I played a good safety. He didn't hit the ball. I ran out, and yeah, it was just when I was in the final, I had no pressure at all because I knew he was already a world champion. Of course, I wanted to win the world title, but I felt so confident that I had no pressure actually. And then also something funny happened in the final. At 11-10, he had ball in hand, and with ball in hand, he scratched on the side. So yeah, that was actually, and also at the US Open final, Wu Cha-ching made a crazy foul in the final. So every time when I was in the final, something funny happened for me.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think all the prayings paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In anything, you always need a little bit of luck. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always a little bump in the road in these big tournaments, even like any tournament, really. You always need that little bit of luck when you're playing great players like every round. So yeah, everyone gets that little bit of luck, and you sort of escape. You always sort of escape a match, and then you just get that feeling then that it could be your tournament.
Right.
But luckily for Joshua, he won it very young, so obviously the odds are he's going to win it again. So he's in a great spot.
Yeah. What did that feel like to be world champion, Josh?
It's just amazing. I mean, when you start playing pool, your biggest dream is to become a world champion, to be the best in your sport. And when you achieve that, I was like for 1 year also the world #1. Of course, you put yourself under big pressure because you just want to stay there forever, actually, in your mind. But pool is a sport where luck is a big point, and yeah, it can jump to your opponent, can jump to somebody else, so you can win against the best player. Next match you can lose to somebody who's in the top 70s or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's just a dream which came true for me, and you just take the momentum to each tournament and try just to play as your best game.
Okay, and you're looking for, presumably you're going to fancy your chances in the summer when the event starts again.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when the format is out, I will try to get the best break to just prepare the best as I can, and yeah, to be 100% there.
Talking of formats, it's a sort of ongoing debate in pool that pretty much every event has different format and different rules. So many do. There's not one sort of unified set of rules that everybody plays to. What's your general feelings on that? I mean, David, you try and you have the Euro 2 rules that you set, and you're consistent with them throughout the events. How did you determine that those were going to be the rules that you used in terms of breaking? I don't know. Go on.
I think it's a combination of cooperating with the players. I mean, we spoke with the players a lot, Ralf included, and others, about the break, about using the tapping template that we use and things like that. So we discuss it with the players as well, and then we try something out for a period of time. We don't try it for one event. Try it for a period of time and evaluate the whole thing. Is it good to keep or is it bad to go? And that's how we do things. And we work, of course, the EPBS sports directors are involved with it as well, because you have on the Euro Tour, we have the 9-ball upwards, don't we? We move it up a spot.
Right.
On the European Championships, because it's WPA rules, then they'll play with the 9-ball back down. So you have to be a little bit, are we going to break the rules completely from the WPA? Or are they going to change the rules, or are we all going to be allowed to adapt the rules depending on the tournament? That's a bit of it's been going on for several years. It's not a new thing.
No.